In the year 460, the Western Roman Empire has about 16 years left. It has lost Britain. Much of Gaul and Spain is slipping away. And across the Mediterranean, the Vandals now control Carthage, one of the richest cities Rome ever had. Then a new emperor makes one final attempt to save it. His name is Majorian. He builds a fleet of roughly 300 ships. If those ships reach North Africa, Rome may recover the money it needs to pay an army. If they fail, Majorian may lose far more than a war. He may lose his throne. The ships gather on the coast of Spain, but before the invasion can begin, the Vandals learn enough to attack first, helped by traitors. The campaign collapses, Majorian is killed, and 15 years later, the last emperor in Italy is removed. But what if the betrayal failed? One surviving fleet could give Rome another chance. To turn that chance into 1,000 years of survival, however, the empire would have to defeat an enemy even more dangerous than the Vandals itself. Rome did not collapse because everyone suddenly forgot how to fight. It was trapped in a cycle. Every lost province meant fewer taxes. Fewer taxes meant fewer soldiers Rome could reliably pay. And with fewer soldiers, the next province became harder to defend. The loss of Carthage in 439 made that cycle much worse. North Africa produced food, taxes, and trade. Now that wealth belonged to the Vandal king Gaiseric, whose ships also threatened Roman coasts and islands. Majorian understood the problem. After becoming emperor in 457, he restored power in parts of Gaul, forced the Visigoths back into an alliance, and tried to repair the tax system. But none of that would last if Africa remained in Vandal hands. So he placed his future on those 300 ships. In recorded history, they never reached Africa. A source from the time says, traitors helped the Vandals destroy several ships near Cartagena. We do not know exactly what happened. We only know the damage ended the invasion. Now we change one moment. The betrayal fails. Enough ships remain ready to sail, and Majorian crosses to North Africa. He has escaped the trap in Spain. Now he has to beat Gaiseric. This is not an easy Roman victory. Gaiseric has ruled for decades. His navy is dangerous, and he has removed supplies from parts of the expected landing area. Majorian may arrive with hundreds of ships and still find too little food, too little water, and an enemy that refuses to fight where Rome is strongest. So Carthage is not guaranteed, but it is possible. Majorian is an experienced commander, and the Vandals are not unbeatable. 70 years later, in different circumstances, an Eastern Roman army would destroy their kingdom with surprising speed. In this version, Majorian's campaign is longer and bloodier. Some ships are lost. The Vandals resist. But the Roman army finally reaches Carthage, and the city falls. For the first time in years, Rome has won back something it desperately needs. Not glory, money. The treasury does not refill overnight, but grain routes become safer, Vandal raids decline, and African taxes slowly return. Soldiers can be paid more reliably. Majorian sails home as the emperor who recovered Carthage. It looks as if Rome has been saved. It has not. While Majorian has been fighting the Vandals, another man has remained at the center of power. Ricimer is Rome's most powerful general. He helped place Majorian on the throne, and in recorded history, he removed him after the African campaign failed. Majorian was arrested and killed in 461. Winning Carthage changes that meeting. Majorian returns with an army, a fleet, and a victory everyone can understand. If Ricimer moves against him, the soldiers may choose the emperor instead. For once, victory gives the emperor a chance to stop his own general from controlling him. But only a chance. Our timeline can still collapse here. Majorian must sideline Ricimer without starting a civil war. Then he must leave behind a successor whom the army and government will both accept. If he fails, Carthage merely gives the next group of rivals more money to fight over. In this version, Majorian succeeds. Ricimer loses command. The central army stays loyal to the emperor, and an accepted successor is prepared before Majorian dies. Rome now has money again, and for the first time in years, the emperor controls the army. But it no longer has the power to rebuild the old empire. Britain is gone, northern Gaul is slipping away. Visigoths and Burgundians rule large territories. Majorian cannot defeat them all while protecting Italy and Africa. So Rome stops trying to control everything directly. Local rulers keep much of their land. In return, they recognize the emperor, send troops, and pay what they promised. Rome had made deals like this before. African money and a loyal army make the deal easier to enforce. By the year 500, the empire's secure heart, maybe Italy, Sicily, Carthage, and nearby parts of Africa, Sardinia and Corsica could return. Southern Gaul and coastal Spain may remain connected through allies. The map is smaller, but the state is stronger. Former enemies enter its army and its politics. People once dismissed as barbarians become Romans themselves. That solves one problem. Then an entire army appears on Italy's border. Near the end of the 5th century, the Ostrogoths are led by a king named Theodoric. In recorded history, the Eastern Emperor sent Theodoric toward Italy. His forces conquered it between 489 and 493. The West must prevent that war, redirect Theodoric, absorb his army, or defeat him. There is no automatic answer. If Rome fails here, its recovery may end after only one generation. If it succeeds, Italy never becomes the Ostrogothic kingdom that the Eastern Emperor Justinian later tries to reconquer. The devastating Gothic War does not happen in the same form. Italy may escape years of sieges and destruction, but it cannot escape everything. From 541, plague spreads through the Mediterranean. Rome's busy ports are unlikely to escape it. The same connections that made the empire richer now carry disease through its cities. Rome survives the Ostrogoths, only to lose people, taxes, and soldiers to an enemy no army can defeat. And the hardest invasion is still to come. In recorded history, 7th century Arab armies take Syria and Egypt from the Eastern Roman Empire. A surviving West does not prevent the rise of Islam or guarantee that Carthage remains Roman. The exact wars would change, but the threat would still be real. A stronger Western navy might hold parts of the African coast for longer. Or Rome might lose most of Africa and retreat toward Italy, Sicily, and the Adriatic. That sounds like the beginning of the end. It does not have to be. The Eastern Roman Empire historically survived enormous losses by rebuilding around what remained. The West could attempt the same thing. And this creates the strangest part of our scenario. Carthage saves Rome in the 5th century. Rome may still lose it later, but Africa has bought time to repair the government and learn how to survive with less. Rome does not live forever because it never loses again. It lives because one loss no longer causes every other part of the state to fall with it. By the year 800, the changes spread far beyond Rome's borders. In our history, the Pope crowned Charlemagne as a new emperor of the Romans. With a Western emperor still ruling, that becomes far harder to justify. The Holy Roman Empire probably does not appear in the form we know. The Pope also has less room to become an independent ruler. Rome already has an emperor, so the Papal States are much less likely to develop in the same way. None of this freezes Europe in the ancient world. Latin would still break into new Romance languages. Soldiers would abandon ancient equipment. Laws and traditions would change with every crisis. Rome survives, but ancient Rome disappears. By 1500, one plausible version is a Christian empire centered on Italy and the central Mediterranean. Rome is its symbolic heart, while Ravenna or Milan may be more useful capitals. Carthage matters only if later emperors keep or recover it. Its soldiers carry gunpowder weapons. Its citizens speak languages Caesar would barely understand. Its rulers have ancestors from peoples earlier Romans called barbarians. This empire is not automatically richer, kinder, or more advanced. It can still demand heavy taxes, persecute rivals, and fight brutal wars. The Renaissance also develops without exactly the same rivalry between the papacy and independent Italian cities. The name survives. Almost everything beneath it changes. So how could the Western Roman Empire have survived? Majorian's fleet must escape betrayal and recover Carthage. Victory must then help him remove Ricimer and secure the next emperor. Rome must survive the Ostrogoths, work with rulers it cannot defeat, and accept that some provinces are never coming back. Even then, survival is not certain. Plague, invasion, civil war, and bad emperors can still destroy it at countless points. But this is a path that does not require magic, modern technology, or an unbeatable Roman army. It requires one lucky escape, followed by generations of difficult choices. Rome survives by becoming smaller, sharing power, and changing before its old system pulls it apart. By 1500, its people may still call their state Roman, just as the people of the Eastern Roman Empire historically did for nearly another 1,000 years. The question is whether we would agree with them. If the emperors remain, but the language, army, borders, and people have all changed, did Rome truly survive? Or did it simply find a slower way to become something else?